Good morning. Today is January the 19th, 2023. Yesterday, something very special happened. I had told you guys earlier in the day that I wasn't doing so well, but I did have a lot on my plate, and that it was necessary for me to have some downtime before I push myself through. And I think you guys already know I would push myself through. But then suddenly, out of the blue, I got a phone call. Now, I had originally, like I said, my intent was to try to rest up as much as possible. I did have an errand to run, but I could technically wait for today. Another day of yesterday would have been a rest up day. Today would have been the errand, and tomorrow another errand. That said, I got a phone call where some friend gave a call and wondered if we could get together and share a meal. You know, they wanted to go to a restaurant. I was not healthy enough to do, believe it or not, a sit down dinner. It just it would not have been productive, is what it comes down to. It wouldn't have been enjoyable. I would have been spending too much time in pain to engage in conversation. I had an idea. Why don't you help me out with my errand? And why don't I make us a meal here? That way we could save some money and we could spend time together. You would help me out, and I would kind of help you out. Like you're looking for a meal, not looking for a meal, but you wanted a meal, and I could make you this meal. They agreed, and it was something I needed. I just didn't know I needed it because that's the way it works with me. Any act of kindness, any support which I get, I'm grateful for. I just don't expect it. It's as simple as that. Like I just don't. It is what it is. I will try to make my way as much as I can, or as little as I can, depending on where I'm at. So yeah, the errand itself was stressful, but it was always going to be stressful. But it was easier with the help I got. It's always a better moment getting a lift instead of taking the public transport, which I don't mind. I told you before. In fact, I enjoy it, to tell the truth. But times at times having the support of the ride, you know what? It kind of really helps. The other side of it is I got to make a meal for someone. Now, usually I'm a bachelor, okay. So when it comes to actually cooking a meal, it's a lot of drama. It's too much drama for me. I buy stuff that you can actually eat straight into the fridge, or my cooking has come down to making bagels or toast, if you know what I mean. If I want something warm, I can do that. But generally speaking, I don't pull up my pots and pans too often. It's just a lot of work. And a lot of work for one person, but the flip side of that is if you're doing it for two people or three, if you're cooking for someone, all of a sudden it's a different mindset. All of a sudden you know what, this is all right. So my friend came over, like, and obviously helped me out with my errand. He came over. I was able to cook a meal. I was also able to give. I guess I'm sorry. I do pull out my pots and pans every once in a while. I have a staple in my menu, and that is hard-boiled eggs. Why? Because I don't have to pull out the frying pan on the daily. I can just open the fridge, and if you catch my drift, that's where I've ended up. I've ended up needing the easiest way to eat with the most calories I can consume, and we'll call it a day. So that's the way it works with me. But with my friend, I was able to cook the meal, which was just fun. I mean, when push comes to shove, it really was. And I got to. He wanted some cooking tips for himself. He has on his side. He has some alone time, and he would like to. Who wouldn't like to save money? And so he wanted some cooking tips. I don't have a lot of cooking tips, okay? But what I have, I will share. It's not enough for a cookbook per se. It's enough for a flyer. Put the eggs in the pot. Hot water, heat, wait 10 minutes, call it a day. How long does that take? It's barely a paragraph, but it is how to make a hard-boiled egg. That said. And of course, the conversation was, which I think, in reflection, it was my friend needed to have, he wanted to be heard. I don't know how else to put it. And I did. He's a friend, right? And I do what I can for my friends as I can, including cooking a meal for them, including accepting some charity from them. If a ride is charity, it's very charitable, is why I consider it a charity. And I do what I can to make up for any act of kindness. It reminds me, I don't know why, and you'll know by the title of this video, but it reminds me of Blanche Dubois' saying from Streetcar, where suddenly there's God so quickly. Yeah, I got not only that a fantastic movie. I'm sorry, but the Brando Lee version. I've seen other versions, of course. Oh, I'd love to see the play per se, but in that movie, when she says that line, you know what she's referring to, and in truth, it's how I felt with this act of kindness that my friend did yesterday, and that I was able to reciprocate makes it even better. But that I got to rest up for today, so that I can do what I've got to do tomorrow, which inevitably is a more significant. It's all significant. I don't do errands nearly. What's a word? I don't do them for fun. I do what I gotta do to survive, as everyone else does. Don't get me wrong. It's just I don't have a lot of wasted time to do things that are just don't have a purpose. that's I'm sorry, but once you get to my condition, to my state, to my age, this is what you've got left, and that's okay. Again, life is what it is, and I roll with it, and I enjoy it as I can. And yesterday was a very enjoyable moment, mixing in a little bit of stress with uplift. I don't know how to put it. It was a good day, and thank you very much to my friend. Of course, they already know that I thank them for their act of kindness. It was on my mind. That's what's going on behind the patch this morning. I will talk to you guys later. Hope you guys have a good rest of the day.